Oh, that's a mess. That's
Nailed it.
really interesting. Someone dipped out of the video right when I switched. Anyways, welcome back to Saga of Three Kings. Technical difficulties. We'll get that sorted here while I'm done talking. Last session, the group took Bulwark Tower, and they have rested after defeating the wizard and not allowing him to escape. Um, I'm gonna just leave it to you guys for a couple of seconds to talk amongst yourselves during the rest, and also sort out who will be on the last rest, because that will be the people that will encounter the people who are coming to your camp.
Don't
What
we
we
have
got?
to where Jeremy and Zach just take it all?
I'm in trance mode, so I don't think I'm allowed to pay attention while I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, but then like Zach do half it and then you do the other half.
So
No,
he,
I would think with what I'm doing, I'm
He
going
can't
to
take
get locked
watches.
out.
Okay.
By the way, Shambles is out in the yard.
yeah, he's working. Barely.
So literally anyone just volunteer and say you were taking that walk.
What did you do, dude? It was working like an hour ago.
So, whoever has the last watch, which I'm assuming would probably be Shambles, as he continues finishing up the process, because you wouldn't want to start building scarecrows in the rain. So you wait until the storm passes, which is probably about the middle of your long rest, and then start processing. It doesn't take you too long to build the dozen or so scarecrows that you mentioned you wanted to build and put at the parapets and the battlements of the tower. And a couple out far afield, one especially well dressed with the wizard's garb. As you're doing so, you see a group of individuals coming from the south, kind of similar vector, similar path really to what you and your group initially came to approach the keep, the tower rather. Amongst their number, you can see that there's about 5 Mutus guardsmen or militiamen, a woman, and a floating red orb with hands and 4 eye stalks.
And I recognize these are people of Mutus.
You would recognize the people of Mutus, and you would probably recognize, based on reputation alone, the Beholderkin.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let them approach. I'll call out for whoever's up on the wall, Raya or Kevin, Leon.
Leon would probably be the one that would be active and awake. As mentioned, Raya's currently busy.
Whoever it is, I'll just call out, let them know that there's appears to be friendly forces approaching.
Okay.
Sounds like something Gondor would care about.
It does.
Where's
Tends
Gondar
to have
at?
a rapport with these folks.
It's not. Your mic is torn up again. Having a bad day today.
It was working not too long ago.
At least it's not a heavy RP session.
Oh no, yeah.
Who's down?
Steve.
Steve's mic is having issue.
Damn it, Steve.
All right. So they approach you, Shambles. As they do so, the Beholderkin moves farther forward and kind of approaches you.
Hey, were you the one that sent up the beacon?
What kind of beacon?
We saw,
Because no first, no.
we saw a beacon of light ascend up into the sky from the tower. We were under the impression that it was being held by bandits, but that signal is a pretty common signal amongst the militiamen of Mutus. guiding light cast up into the air. Make
Yeah, I
it-
don't know anything about magic. There were bandits here.
Make a intelligence check.
Intelligence check. 3.
Okay. Yeah, you have no idea what they're talking about.
If I only had a brain. There were bandits here. They're dead now.
Oh, excellent.
Red scarves.
Yeah.
Real
One of the
bad guys.
One of the guards says, "You look familiar. Are you from the town of Mutus? You travel with the Master of the Hand, do you not?"
So he's inside. He knows a thing or two about magic. He's probably the guy you're looking for.
Oh,
As far as
excellent.
Beacon goes.
Did the Curio send you to take these bandits down?
In a sense, we were headed further west, and we saw this. We couldn't let them just keep it. You know, they're bad guys.
The Beholderkin kind of cocks to the side and kind of looks at you. So you just... We're heading this way anyway? Let's speak to the Master of the Hand. He might know more. They all nod, and the 5 militiamen and the Beholderkin head in, and
Yeah, I'll walk him into the across the moat, whatever.
Okay. It seems like the woman stays outside, kind of inspecting the exterior. She seems to have a specific interest in the scarecrow you had just put up. All right. You go inside. Everyone's still kind of slowly getting up. I'm certain that at this point Benson's hard at work on his books, getting prepared for the morning. And
Do Beholderkin have the same presence as Beholders, or are they played way down?
way down. They're playable characters. A race that you can find in my Cardiff's Tattered Notes on the DM's Guild. And if you purchase during the month of May, after the 4th, I get all the royalties from it. I'm a whore.
Yeah, that plug rolled right off the tongue. It was natural advertisement.
I mean, it's kind of cool that they're
Like you had that one ready.
giving everyone the full royalties for the month of May or whatever, but wish I'd known. I would have saved all of them and waited. But anyways, the group that I mentioned comes in with shambles. Everybody who's awake would note it.
Is this any better?
Yes.
Yes.
Much better.
Just in time.
Yeah, I think.
May I?
Oh, you've got multiple things that have microphones in them. Let's run them all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Hilarious. But like I mentioned,
But
go ahead.
I'd call out for Benson. There's a eyeball guy wants to talk about a beacon.
Oh, okay. I'll head over down and
Okay.
offer them tea.
No thanks. And the militiamen are like, one of them goes, and you can see all the other ones kind of look at him. He's like, oh.
Yes. How can I help you?
Master of the Hand, what brings you and yours to this place? We weren't aware of any other detachments from the town coming out this way.
Well, we were heading this way, and we found crows were everywhere, and we came to find shelter, and it seems that the castle was taken over by some less than hospitable people, and turned out to be a evil wizard that was not very hospitable, so we had to remove him.
We were told by the Master of the Guard that no people would be allowed to leave outside of the road and head into the Millard Fields. There's currently operations here, military operations engaging, and people like yourself could be seen as oppositional forces, conglomerates, spies perhaps, especially since you're a mage.
Absolutely, understandable. I would take him over, and we have our more of a managerial person here that had the contacts to make this happen. I take him over, show him to Steve, introduce him to Steve.
Do this particular group of, you said 5 or 6, do they look like they're very well traveled? Have they seen combat? Are they wary?
The militiamen look like they're pretty worn. The beholderkin, it's hard to tell.
Pass out my magic porridge to the militiamen. They probably had a long one.
You can see that the leader of them, the one that you spoke to outside, kind of gives them a look, and it seems like they're following his lead. He does not accept your gift.
Very well. I'll sit on the ground in the corner and eat some. Just watch 'em.
Okay. You lead them to Gondar.
Yes.
All right, Gondar. You see Red Ball come in, and a couple of soldier types. The second Red Ball sees you. His face was just kind of normal countenance. Just becomes a massive smile of teeth, floating there in the air. Slasher. I should have figured it was you.
Zapper, I was told you were gonna be in these parts. Can I predator handshake him?
Yeah. His little nubby hand floating in the air. You kind of shake him.
A strong hand.
So, did the Curios hire you to do this, or are you doing it on your own? I heard you took Fort Phalanx. Are you planning something?
He kind of gives you a look.
Oh, you know, I'm always playing something, but this doesn't come from the Curios. This is for... I have a contract with House Owning. I freed one of the daughters, and she was being held at Phalanx, and need to say she was not happy by the slight, and
You're
I have a
looking for
contract.
Calorith.
Yeah, I'll be taking Calorith back to. Do I know they're like? Do they have like a house or anything?
The city of Bellum.
Yeah, I'll be taking Calorith back to Bellum alive to allow House Owning to deal with him as they.
Huh. Interesting. We're out here looking for Calorith as well. We have a specific charge to make sure no other individual kills the mage and return him in prison in shackles, specifically these shackles. Pulls a set of strange-looking shackles out of his backpack, which is kind of floating on, or setting on his back, or strapped to the weird orb of it. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. Hold on. And then he
His little head torso.
Yeah.
Hat backpack.
His little hat backpack. He kind of has like straps, and then hanging from the back of his body / head is a backpack. But he says, a very interesting situation that we're unfortunately set upon. You want to take this individual alive or dead?
Alive is the contract. I was planning on breaking his fingers and cutting out his tongue, but I think those shackles will probably make things a lot easier.
Well, we're supposed to take him to the Curios, which seems to be at odds with your mission.
He looks back at the militiamen.
Go see the stabber. Begone, leave us to speak. The captain of the militia says, but sir, do it!
And the beholderkin's eyes all kind of turn on that guy specifically. He's like, oh, okay. And they all exit out of the room, leaving you, Benson, and Zapper.
Look, the Curios isn't going to be able to handle this individual, and I don't think that taking him back with the group that I have is going to be of any ways easy, and Stabber is not too keen on it either. So,
Reaches into his bag, pulls out the cuffs, and throws them to you.
I catch them. Yeah,
He raises his fingers, and he's got 4 of them, including his thumb, and he drops all but one.
Do we have a deal?
we have a deal.
You get the meaning. He wants 1/4 of your payout.
Oh, like 25%?
Yep.
Oh, you're You're a wily one, Zapper, but I'd rather do this cleanly and not have to deal with the curio when I'm done.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to stop you from having to do, and that's why you will want to pay me all of that sweet coin. The other champions and me will make sure that the Curios' eyes are focused elsewhere. We were heading to the Redoubt. Is that where you're planning on going? We just dealt with some giantkin at a shrine south of here. That's why the militia folk were tired. There were a few more of them before we started. They didn't do too well, but me and Stabber made pretty short work of them one by one.
Yes, the Redoubt is our goal. It's where we have a good feeling that he's there based on the information we got from this wizard.
Out of
So
character
if you-
note, actually, you know exactly where Calorith is, and it's not the Redoubt. It's Icefang
I
Hold.
was. Oh, that's what he said. Or is that what it was?
Yep.
So yeah, at that point, if he didn't know, I was going to come walking down the wall and say it out loud anyway.
Well, we were planning on going to the Redoubt, but with new information gathered from this mage, we're gonna have to go deeper into the mountain. Icefang Hold is our goal.
Well, you're really riding into that 25 you're gonna owe me. That shrine had a teleportation circle in it. And if my understanding is correct, Icefang Hold is an old conglomerate stronghold. Makes sense that they'd be there. Just doesn't make sense how they'd be able to weather that temperature. Magic mages. Strange stuff indeed. But from what I understand, that shrine is basically a stair point for the higher towers of the conglomerate of old. We were a bit surprised, Stabber and I, to see that it was present, but if you have a wizard, looks over to the Master of the Hand, who's capable of casting a teleportation circle spell, they might be able to get you right up there immediately. Or you can take the long way of it.
I'm not a big fan of magic either, but in this case, I think that is the best route. It'll make a cut our trip, and it'll be a lot less treacherous. I don't want to be going into this battle weary from a blizzard on top of a mountain.
What are you planning on doing with this fortification?
Shambles laid claim to it.
Yeah, I kind of look over my shoulder, Raya, and it came into the conversation. Yeah, with the Scarecrow has put his hand down on it, and I'm not one to deny him.
I'm going to walk in. So Calrith does reside in the mountain, but he's also, as I've learned talking to the dead here, he's the leader of the servants of the Red Dragon Queen in Icething Hold, and he's guarded by the Great Dragon Hornbeck.
Hornbeck the White. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Out of character note.
So if you guys are
You all
able-bodied and ready to rock, you should come with us if you want that 25% of Steve's pay.
You've all seen a white dragon of pretty decent size back at Fort Phalanx. There probably aren't too many huge white dragons that are kind of flying about, so your presumption is the dragon that kind of picked off the conglomerate picked off the cultists back at Phalanx might very well be the same dragon that's up in Icefang Hold. He looks to you and says, "Oh no. I don't plan on earning 25% of what was negotiated by doing more work." Looks over at him. No. Looks back to Gondar. Our deal is simple. I keep the Curios' eyes off of you and make sure you have no competition in dealing with Calorith, and you have no problems when you return back to Mutus, if ever, from the Curios, regarding the dispatchment or detainment of Calorith. That's our deal. More than fair. If you want, we can cut it down to 15, but it'll cost you. You'll have to talk to that Shambles and tell him to give us this tower.
Well, I don't know if he'll willing to give up tower. I can ask him, but
I can tell you he'd probably be pretty interested in giving it up on the condition that all the scarecrows you see are left in place and more are added.
Sure. That's probably what we were going to do anyways, is try and secure the place by putting up dummy soldiers anyways. There's only 7 of us.
But sure, more than fair. If you can broker the deal for us, and you are looking at Raya.
Raya.
I'm Red Bull. Yes, if you could broker the deal for us, that would be more than appreciated.
See what I can do.
Thank you so much. Looks back to the Gondar. So 15% in this tower, and we will keep the curios off of your back. If you have any need of a safe defense point, this one will serve. We're going to say that the bandits were dispatched with the assistance of the... Should we mention you, or no?
There's no need. You can tell the curio you took this tower.
Very good. And we found a mage, and we sent back... I don't know, is there any identifying factors for the leader of this group that you killed? I'm assuming it's a wizard.
I guess his robe or his head.
Whichever you prefer giving up. We'll send that back with a runner back to Mutus to see if it is Caloreth. That'll buy some time. And if they identify it as not being Caloreth, then we will continue searching. Just in all the wrong places. Good luck at Ice Fang.
Well, Red Ball, if you are interested, I know you and Stabber don't like to sit still for too long, and you haven't quite sated thirst for wanting to dispatch these cultists. We have word. We also know that Venero, which I assume is another fort, is being held by another one of these wizards.
That would be an interesting place for us to inspect. And out of your way.
You got a tower? Maybe Stabber wants a tower. I don't know. We can all have towers.
Sounds good. One for each of the champions. Well then, yeah, we will, once we get information back from the Curios, we'll head over that way and inspect around the Mantle Forest and deal with the problems you mentioned at Venero. Very good. Alright. Mariah, do you go and speak to Shambles regarding the tower?
Yeah, I can deal with it later.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, when you go out there, you would see that Shambles is out in the courtyard, and just now entering into the courtyard is the woman known as Stabber, according to him. I'm trying to get the handout out, but in the meantime, you do see her approach, kind of just entering in like she owns the place.
Well met, Stabber.
I don't
Heard
know.
you've seen some action?
You're still inside the Red Bull, sorry.
Oh, alright.
I'm trying to open it up to anybody else who wants to maybe role play.
Oh, I would ignore her and just talk to Shambles then, if I was going out to talk to Shambles.
I'm still sitting on the ground eating porridge. I'll say hi. I mean, I don't want to be rude.
Okay. Yeah, she is kind of just looking around calmly, collectedly. She doesn't seem to be taking anybody in specific as interesting.
You hungry, miss?
I'm not. Thank you for the offer, though.
Sure. How are the roads?
I wouldn't know. We spent most of our time off-road.
Fair. Smart.
We went to a shrine south of here and dealt with some giants. Have you seen any wandering giants? We do hope that we got them all.
No. We almost went there, but this tower was full of birds, and I couldn't let that happen.
That's interesting.
We've only seen their aftermath, not the giants themselves.
So, birds, you say? Massive ones or just regular ones?
Pretty your standard, play of the earth birds. Can't stand them. Black ones. Somebody tried to talk to them. I knew that was a waste of time.
Ravens.
Right. Of course. Well, congratulations on defeating the birds and, yeah. She kind of just seems to kind of mosey
Yeah, right back at you. Good work with the giants.
mosey away from you.
We all have goals.
Some of them are just bigger than others, I guess.
Like the birds.
Anybody else in the campsite want to talk to anybody who's entered? The militiamen.
Grok, Leon. Anybody feeling talky?
So, Grok, if he's getting the sense that we're not going to be heading back to the Anguis Wood, is that the idea?
That seems about right. Yeah.
Then he would be busy trying to put Bellerin to rest as best he could here.
Okay. Yep. Plenty of soft ground around the area. Bulwark is kind of on a watery area, so not too hard to bury him if that's what you're wanting to do. But you would know that the Atavians would probably be cross-eyed with you, because burying your dead is not how it works.
Well, how does it work?
For Atavians, they burn them.
Okay, but and for the ceremony, for the rituals that I would know,
You'd bury them.
yeah, well, that's what I would do. And too bad.
What does Bellerin believe?
Bellerin's an elf. Bellerin believes in burial. Yeah. Return to the earth.
So then do what he wants.
There you go.
He's not an Assyrian.
Yeah, they're still cross-eyed about it because there's repercussions. You know.
Oh,
Shambles.
I suppose.
Yeah.
These guys want the tower. So
They're from Mutus?
yeah, they want your tower. I told them if they build all your scarecrows for you, just fill this thing up. You could probably have it. What else do you want?
I didn't think I'd get this far. I don't know, you got any suggestions?
Yeah, I don't know either, man. Throw out some demands. Or something.
How many scarecrows do you think we can get? Like,
They said-
like 5 a day?
They said they want to fill this thing, make it look like it's fully, filled up.
If they're from Mutus and we collectively feel that we can trust them, I'll hand them the key.
I say I don't know about all that.
It's just a bunch of twigs that I found on Congress.
Little holes drilled in them.
The place is yours.
Fastened together with like
These are Gondar's friends. Piece of straw wrapped through them.
he's made like a key out of wood, and he's like fastened like small bits of grass.
No, it was strictly just sticks I found.
It's just a pile of sticks.
Just a piece of
Yeah,
straw
I mean,
wrapped around it like a
Think
key ring.
of something to ask for, even if they say no. Just you gotta have something. Look them over, see if they got a weapon or something you need. No, we're gonna make perception checks on their crew.
The woman,
Yeah, I'll like peer through the window at the red ball guy.
the woman with the purple cloak has a really nice short sword at her belt. Make a perception check, Shambles.
Can I aid or not? Since it's okay.
Shambles only. What'd you get?
7.
Okay. I'm going to take advantage for this because it's kind of something you're focused on. The handle of the sword is identical in all regards to your sword.
Okay, she and I have words. Miss, what was her name?
No, you never got it.
Stabigail, ma'am.
Yes?
Stabigail.
Where'd you get that sword?
This?
Yeah.
This was a prize for the gladiatorial pits of Osiria. I won it by right of conquest. She looks
Was
down.
common?
She looks down to your belt. Interesting. Can I see?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Prefer it.
yikes. Only Osirian smiths are going to be able to repair this. Looks like you won yours about 7 years ago? I've never met a walking scarecrow, though, and nor have I ever heard of one. I won mine about 10 years ago, but still kept up with the pits for a while after, before moving out this way and making a name for myself. Must have buy the cloak, and you are...
Shambles.
Never
Pleasure.
never heard of you. And
Well, see, I wasn't always myself. I used to be something else. An Osirian is what I'm told. But
Was
some
this-
year ago,
Was the sword
the
found?
magician.
I'm sorry, was the sword...
It was on my person.
Oh, you had it before you... So wait, I'm sorry, so you don't know who you were before you... Who you are? Is that right?
For who I am now, yes.
Well, apparently you were a gladiator of some sort, a master at combat, personal combat. You may want to investigate the history records of the Osirian fighting pits, and if I had to be sure, you won your sword about 7 years ago.
Any names stick out as to winners from 7 years back?
There were
Can't be a large pool of people.
about 6 champions at about that time. I'm honestly blanking. If any of them come to my mind while we're staying here, I'll be sure to get you the names. So.
Well, I've been convinced I'm donating this tower to your troop here. Why don't you dwell on that?
Oh, of
Get me
course.
some answers as best you can, and the place is yours. And I hand her the keys.
Yeah, I wasn't being deceptive. She looks at it. I wasn't being deceptive. I genuinely am not placing the names. I will definitely try my best to recall them.
At your own time. That's the best lead I've ever had.
Yeah, roll a d6.
5.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything that they want to do before moving on to something else, or is there any planning? Role play. Red Ball's done
Yeah.
talking. Has the tower.
I'm gonna head
secured.
back over to Red Ball.
Okay. Yeah.
No, he's into it. So here's what he needs. He's real interested in that girl's sword. I don't think he's gonna get it, but he likes
Nope.
it. He's got a matching one. It's damaged.
Yeah. That's her prize sword.
And beyond that, his ultimate demand, he's got to have at least 5 scarecrows per day put up.
We're only going to put up so many before we stop doing it. It's not something we're just going to keep doing. It's insanity.
Have you ever met a walking scarecrow before?
Sure.
Insanity's his game.
So I'm going to say that we're going to do that, but I'm going to be lying when I tell you that we're going to do that.
Oh, you can tell him that then, I guess.
We're going to build enough.
I trust him. I followed him in.
We're going to build enough.
I'm like standing at the door.
Just wait till you reincarnate here and there aren't 5 per day. You lied to me!
I can't guarantee I can do it more than once. I just like having them.
So,
But yeah, if he's listening to us, I was like, just keep the walls armed, keep the place safe, and keep your guys fed. For the love of
Sure.
God. And I'll leave the porridge bowls behind for him.
these are very interesting and very useful. Thank you. Okay. Anybody have anything else that they want to discuss with the people who came in, or amongst yourselves? So just table's yours.
As I walk out and see Stab, does she look at me or look past me? Because right now I'm just looking. I notice her at the corner of my eye, but I'm not going to look at her.
She'll look over to you and notice that you're kind of looking past her and kind of let that lie.
As I walk past her shoulder to shoulder, I'm going to spin and I'm going to try to pull a knife on her.
Okay. Go ahead and make a initiative roll.
19.
Okay. She beats you with her 22. So as you both draw weapons, but spurred on by you thinking you're going to catch her off guard, she's got her sword up at your neck, and she's pushing your dagger back and away with the pommel of her sword. And she looks at you. Always trying to get the edge, Slasher. She grins as you both slowly put your
Quick
weapons
as ever, Stabber.
Everyone,
I'll get ya.
everyone in the courtyard's confused. The militiamen literally jump for their weapons as this happens. And then you guys lower your weapons back down. And she kind of grins. So,
Catch you one of these days.
so you're the one who started this whole fucking mess, huh?
I started it, but he finished it. I point up at Leon on the
The guide.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Interesting. Well, who sent up the signal?
signal?
Yeah, the guiding bolt that was launched into the sky. It's the only reason we're here. Make an intelligence check.
Ah,
Or if you already know.
I think I remember now, actually.
yeah, it was.
Goody
I-
two shoes, make
Yeah,
the
the the sentinel who was with us. His name escapes me. I can never remember him.
Aaron
Something elvish. Fortunately, he's no longer with us, but yeah, he did attempt to fire off some sort of magic.
Interesting. Yeah, typically the Holy Knights of the militia will send up those flares. Our group had such a knight, but the giants dealt with him. I'm sure Zapper's already told you about our forays to the south.
Just dealing with the giants, nothing beyond.
Have you already had your agreements made? I don't want to tread any ground that's already been treaded.
No, we made the deal, and I did tell him there is another tower that these red cloaks or red scarves are holding. That's I don't know if you're interested in property yourself, but
Not terribly.
something to do, something to think about.
Property keeps you away from taverns. Well, it was a pleasure seeing you again. She smiles. And I'm sure we'll be seeing each other soon. Where's the scarecrow staying?
Where's he staying? With us, wherever we might be.
Okay, I think I remember one of the names, so I will go and speak to him. When she does come over to you, she says, I remember one of the names. Probably, well, maybe. Her name.
I just immediately call across the courtyard at Benson to get over here.
She kind of stops.
I come over quickly.
Her.
What is it?
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
The individual who won about 7 years ago at the Osarian fighting pit. Her name was Cassandra Asher.
Remember being a woman? Was I a woman, Jody? Benson?
I don't believe so. No. Can I go back?
Oh.
To recall anything?
She kind of looks at you. Wait a minute. You met him before? Did he did not give his name?
No, he came in for a reading. I'm a.
Someone had an ego about it.
Well, can you describe the individual to me? It might help me determine who
I
you
would
might
be as open as possible with her.
Yeah, I'd tell Benson, I was like, she might know who I was. She's from the town. She recognized my sword.
Yeah, I would be as open as possible.
She nods her head. Huh. Huh. The only person that matches that description, and I think I might be wrong in the year, is Chrisinger Vester. That's the only.
Sound like you?
Does it? I don't feel anything when I hear it.
Vester?
Vester?
I spelled it out there in the thing. When she says the name doesn't seem familiar to you, Shambles. It's kind of strange sounding too. You're trying to focus in on it and come up with something that might be, thoughtful. But Benson, you recall that around the time there was mention of a noble and lauded hero coming to the town. You aren't sure that it's the same person, but the name does ring a bell at about the same time Shambles came around.
Okay. We can look into it more once we get back to the town. But yeah, that's a lead. We can absolutely run on.
Yeah, I haven't heard of anything from him in the last 3 or 4 years. Does that match your time scale?
I haven't met anyone who knows me in the last year, at least, so...
Well,
Does he have any family? Is there anybody he knows that would care about him?
in Bellum, yes, he does. There well, one of the ladies of the council, Alicia Vester, is his sister. And special note for all those Patreons out there: wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint, elbow, elbow.
But yeah, I can't thank you enough. Is there any other information you could think of about this person? Where he lived?
It was
Who
after
he was?
it was after my heyday. I know that he wielded a trident and sword.
Huh.
It was a long trident, though, not a typical hand trident or throwing trident. More like a spear with 3 prongs.
So
You
I kind of lean on my pitchfork.
Yeah, you kind of think about it for a second, look down at the pitchfork. Huh. He,
We're just talking in circles, lady.
she nods her head and says, "Well then, very best of luck to you, and we appreciate your gift of the tower to the militia." All right.
If it serves Mutus, I'm fine with it going to you folks.
Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
All right.
I'm excited you got that information.
Too. Thanks, Andy.
Okay. So what's the plan? Everybody groups up together, and you guys are gonna discuss something. Fucking chubby. You're a goddamn champion.
He's allowed.
You're a goddamn champion. But back to my question. You guys gather together, talk amongst yourselves. Tell me what your plan is.
Yeah, has anybody got heals to pass out? Because I'm still way messed
Nope.
up.
You're
We
long
got full
rested.
rest.
Yeah, we were long rested.
Man, we should
Yeah.
be good. That also means you leveled.
I
if you're
didn't.
supposed to.
Oh, right. That's right. You did not. He did his
But
trans.
as you guys, if your plan is to teleport, then I'm just going to start a long rest now because it's saving us several days of travel.
We can try to teleport. It's not a guarantee, but I am willing to try it if it's what we need. Would be better for the group.
And on that matter, if you can master that spell, if there's a way to transcribe it somewhere else, does it make it a two-way street or not?
Chody, you would know that spell's outside of your ability at current.
Yeah, I would have to actually tear it out, and I only be able to use it once. I can't. If we're doing that, if we're going to teleport, it's going to be a one-time. Hopefully, make it use.
Hopefully make it use does not sound like something I want to do.
I mean, I feel that it would be safe. It would just be one of those things. How if it works, it will work. If not, it'll fizzle.
I'm not super keen on teleporting right into the middle of their stronghold anyway. God knows what would be waiting for us.
Oh, we'll have the element of surprise. I doubt they're gonna expect us to just appear.
Unless they're expecting someone to teleport in there anyway. I mean, a teleportation circle inside of your stronghold sounds like a place you typically have a guard.
Yeah, but,
Kind of like a front door.
Yeah, but like just one or two. Like,
well, usually they would also expect friendlies to teleport in.
Yeah, well, an alarm's an alarm.
Well, we got a lot of crimson scarves here we could put on. We could be
No, we
friendly.
don't. They've all been used.
For what?
Making shambles.
Well, we can just take the scarves off
hey, you
them.
don't need the scarves. It was
Yeah.
it was really
It completes the ensemble,
just a
you
fashion
monster.
statement, really.
But we're trying to make this place look like it's being held by reputable people, not cultists.
Scarecrows get cold.
It's not wrong.
And we get hungry and thirsty.
Well,
We like it when people are nice to us.
I don't think getting back would be too much problem. I would deduce that if this mage had a teleportation in his book, that Calorith will probably have a teleportation circle spell in his. And if we nab Calorith, we'll just give his book to Benson, and who knows what goodies could be.
What if Calorith doesn't have a book?
It seems like a gamble.
He's a wizard, I assume.
Is he, or is he just a magic user?
There's a difference?
I don't believe sorcerers carry books, do they?
They do not.
I wouldn't know.
Or if his power is otherworldly in some other sense. Perhaps he himself is not the caster and just employs them. One-way street to an icy death does not sound like a good time.
Where would we be teleporting to?
Ice Fang Hold up in the mountain.
Where
Do we know
Calrith
what
resi-
town?
That's where Calrith resides above the rest of the servants of the Red Dragon
White Dragon.
and the White Dragon, Hornbeck.
How would we intend to leave such a place?
I believe they intend to murder everything in there and then walk back.
Well, either if my deduction's right and Calith has a spell book, then we can teleport out the way we came. If it,
Oh,
My-
no. We would have to have a target to teleport to.
yeah, back to the shrine. If the shrine has a circle in it, then we should be able to go back and forth.
Oh.
But backup plan, noting geography, is we could also descend the mountain to this town and simply make our way down the road. Take the road back, take the long way around. Unless you guys want to cut across country.
And remember, once you have Calareth, you're not planning on going back to Mutus.
Wait, what town is this?
Don't know.
Where is the town sorry, what was that town?
City, Bellum, far to the south.
I need to go there anyway.
Yeah, so actually, that could work. If we can't teleport back to the shrine, just descend the mountain, and then essentially just go from town to town, following the King's Road, Golden Road, whatever road.
Yeah. If it's currently marked, you may know that there's a town or settlement there, but you probably don't know the name of it. If the name of it's been tagged, then you are aware of the name of the property or establishment.
I'm assuming this Anchor is a port town, or like it's a port.
There's probably a harbor port somewhere around there, based on what you know.
Hey, we could hire a boat and just take a boat right into Bellum. Or like close enough to Bellum.
These are all options.
Alright, so we teleport in. We kidnap a wizard. We may not teleport out.
Yeah, backup plan, descend the
Benson,
mountain.
how do you feel about all this? This seems like it's relying a lot on your ability.
The only issue is that teleporting might be the only issue. I can again only use this spell in this book once, so the only way that I can use it again would be if the other wizard had the spell as well.
And would we all be able to go together?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a teleportation circle, but the thing is that again, it is not a guarantee. I have to make I have to try, and there's a chance for failure.
And perhaps we should ready ourselves. We can head south to the shrine, investigate the teleportation circle there. He can see if it matches what is even close to what he has currently in his book. Perhaps there's something that tells whether or not it's actually attached to this group of people.
Especially if the giants are taken care of, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Take an extra day.
And then we can move on to the next one, because we should probably also clear out that last stronghold they have before we go to Icefang, so they don't come in behind us. The last thing we want is flanked inside of their stronghold.
Sorry, what was the last part? You want to take out the other tower?
Yeah, the last thing that they're holding
The
over
redoubt?
here. Yeah, I believe.
I don't know if the redoubt and the Tower of Venero, what's it called?
Venero's not a tower, it's a shrine.
That's not the redoubt, though. It's something different.
Correct. You should be able to see both on your map.
Rose down here. It's a little lake.
Over near the Mental Forest, right?
Yeah, that was why I was trying to point Red Ball and Stabber in that direction, because if they're sieging that tower, it'll be a similar situation. The guys who are there won't really be able to retreat before they get murderized, because I'm pretty confident they're as good as us.
So Red Ball and Company are going to Redoubt? Or to Venero?
I tried to encourage them towards Venero, whether they'll actually do it or not.
Red Ball seemed keen.
Yeah. Like, I'm pushing them to try to go there to cause it. Yeah, they like essentially create a distraction because I'm thinking what Raya's thinking. Like, they could, if Calith wants to call for reinforcements, I'm sure he probably has like a sending spell or something. 1 minute later, we're gonna get squatted on.
And if we accompany them to Venero and clear that out, we may acquire a second spell book, since that guy is also supposed to have the ability to send himself back to Icefang, which would give us 2 uses of teleportation.
That's
That
true,
would make
too.
it, yeah.
We're not really on a time crunch anymore now that Red Ball is working with us and not like again.
Not a race anymore.
Yeah, it's not a race anymore. So
Well, it might be worth having us split and not have to deal with reinforcements coming from one or the other. If Red
Yeah.
Ball's attacking Venero and we go straight to Icefang,
No, if we go to Venero, we acquire the other spell book from the other mage there. Then
yeah,
Chody
but
has
what's
a
the
second.
guarantee that that mage doesn't get away?
The longer we wait, increase
Yeah,
the
us
chance
murdering
of
him
getting-
faster.
Well, I mean, even if we have taken over this keep, and the guy who runs this keep is in allegiance with 2 other guys who run 2 other keeps, and they're in any sort of communication. Now that communication is stopped. So if we want to go attack those keeps, we should probably do it sooner rather than later, lest they be reinforced, or they just leave.
we know what their orders are. But they need to hold the keep unless they feel that they're being overpowered. So even if we start attacking, he's not going to instantly leave. He's going to at least feel it out to see if he can kill us.
And it takes some time to cast a spell too, so we can do the
first part
same
of
thing
what
we
I
did
said.
here.
The longer we wait, the more inclined they are to believe that this keep has fallen and maybe reinforce the other 2.
It's true.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense.
The sooner you strike, the sooner. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if they're talking with magic. Like, they probably already have told each other.
Strike while the
Did
strike
he
while
have
the
any
metal pot.
were any communication spells in the spell book?
No.
Maybe not. Maybe we're
No.
lucky.
Then it would appear that they can only receive messages and not send them.
Well, I assume they
Since
use the birds or something.
I don't know. It seems like it was tied to one person. Just his thing. I mean, I guess we'll find out when we get to Venero.
Seems like everyone wants to go to Venero then?
Who wants to go to Venero? Was that a thing? Oh, I
Yeah,
wasn't paying attention.
Let's do it, boys.
We should
We'll ride.
investigate the circle at the shrine on the way there, and then head to Venero.
Okay. So, from your current position, it's early morning. You just woke up. From your current position, you can make it to the shrine about. Well, you have horses, and that's something I wanted to cover too, and something that wasn't brought up.
Yeah.
Grok. Bellerin's horse is still out in the field, kind of wandering about.
Oh,
You go out and bury Bellerin, and it seems that the only person besides you that's in attendance for that process is the Renahin,
is the who?
the horse.
Oh, okay.
I would have watched actually, if it was possible. If
You
I
were
wasn't
bu-
doing
you
something
were busy.
else.
Yeah, you're busy planning. So, the horse is the only person in attendance besides you.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would make nice with the horse. I mean,
Okay.
I think I rode the horse over anyway with Bellerin.
Yeah, it's a fine horse, to be sure.
Mhm.
Go ahead and make me an animal handling check.
Oh, boy. Oh, a 21. Lovely.
The horse seems to take well to you. Strangely enough. You
I
feel
will comfort the horse in its grief, and hopefully it will take me as its passenger.
fair enough. It does indeed ride you back to the keep, and you do happen to be now mounting on the Renahin. It is not like the elk. It's not going to do whatever it wants or do whatever. It's not as cool as the elk, but it is certainly a better steed than a normal riding horse if you were to use it.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. All right. You head back to keep everybody regroups, and
Red Ball was keen on taking Venero. Do we want to see if he'll join us?
He won't
Or
do.
you guys?
He won't join you. If you recall, he's going to send a runner back to Mutus, and you would see this process happening. He basically acquires something from the mage to signify the mage's presence and be able to identify or not, and sends that off with a runner back to Mutus. And then he says they're going to remain here, follow their end of the bargain, and build some scarecrows, and wait until the runner returns. If you say, "Oh, we're going to go to Venero," and he's like, "Then why did you mention it to me?"
Hey, it'll still be an empty tower. Maybe you. I don't know. I was brainstorming.
Oh, great. So we're just running around picking up scraps. And you see Saber kind of cross her arms. Seems like you don't want us to have any fun at all.
Shrugs.
Then Zafir kind of says, "You're saying that this guy's not at the redoubt, right?"
No.
Okay, well then this is what we're going to do, okay? And you can just handle that. Once we get the runner back, and hopefully he has reinforcements, which I requested, we're going to go to the redoubt and take it. Period. End of sentence. If you want to leave Venero empty, that's fine. It's a shrine. It probably won't be filled up by anything besides goblins or their ilk, who can easily be bartered or negotiated with to leave the premises. And that's fine. That's what we're going to do. Sound good?
Sounds great. Good luck at the redoubt. I don't know what's there.
Fair enough.
Or maybe I do. Hold on. Give me a second to think.
Fair enough. So yeah, they continue the processes, and will, engage likewise. They are going to do their thing. So what are you? You guys are heading to Venero after stopping at the shrine, the David shrine, right? Okay.
Yeah,
That's
we want to
solid.
check it. We want to take a look at the circle to confirm that it's the same circle in the spell.
On horseback, you all should be able to make it to the shrine before midday, because it's not going to take that long to get there. So if that's what your plan is, I need someone to roll 2d20, and I need someone to go ahead and just move Leon the miniature in a fashion that would show me how you're moving.
Andy, Kevin,
Cat,
Do what?
you are
D20?
roll d20s.
Moved.
Oh, I rolled a big 1.
14.
Oh my god, this cat is so.
No, I didn't roll. That's not right, isn't it?
Yeah. You got a 1 on a d20. You're good.
You got a 1? Okay. So on your way there, as you're exiting Bulwark and continuing on, the horse you're riding on, Grok, kind of stops and just kind of heads off in its own direction. Like it seems to not care about what everyone else is doing, and seems to annoyingly kind of go off in a different direction.
Could I try to bring it back?
You can. Yeah. Go ahead and make an animal handling check to see if you can rein it in.
8?
No, it takes you where it wants. No, it leads you off, moves towards a massive copse of... God.
Of cat?
A copse of cat. Heads over to a copse of high grass, and as you get closer to it, you realize that there's kind of an empty ring in the center of this high grass, like a perfectly cut circle in the grass. If you were looking at it from above, you're pretty sure it would look like it was like
Like a
a perfectly cut circle.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's a single cut path that leads out of the ring.
I would call the others if they're near enough by to hear.
Grok, on horseback, starts riding away from the group. Do you all stop and kind of wonder what the hell's going on there, or continue
Yes.
riding?
I mean, he got a new horse. I'll follow him.
I don't know how this thing
Learning.
works. Right.
The horse goes into the circle and stops, and just kind of looks over towards the pathway, and kind of stays in the position that it's in.
What could I make out with my understanding of things in nature of this kind of a
This doesn't appear natural.
Okay. So if anyone follows me, like Shambles, I would say this looks like it's man-made. I look back. Are the others coming?
What?
I would.
What's it supposed to do?
You would see that at current, Grok on top of Awen is sitting inside of a massive cleared ground surrounded by high grass, and there is a cut path in the high grass that leads out of the circle size in almost the exact opposite direction that you all are moving up to the circle.
Grok would say, animals have a knowledge we can't understand. And motion forward.
The horse
So I'll
doesn't move.
dismount and follow him, I guess.
All of the other horses, once they kind of come to the clearing, do not enter the circle. If you try to reel them in, or like move them into doing so, they kind of whinny and kind of back away as if they're like scared.
I would like to try to detect magic.
Go ahead. You
Okay.
are doing so as a spell or a ritual?
A ritual.
Everyone, you see him start to cast a ritual. Do you mention that you're doing that beforehand?
I mean, if I saw the horses not wanting to go in and it looks unnatural, Grok says unnatural, I would say you might as well check for magic and then start casting the ritual.
Okay. Does everybody yield to wait for Benson to do that, or does anyone do anything during the 10 minutes that he's spending?
No, that's prudent.
How
if
wide is the
Andy's
circle?
in there?
20 feet.
Does it look like there's from like on horseback? Do I have like enough of an advantage? Does it look like there's anything like dead center, or is it like just a clear circle?
It's like a clear circle that the horse is in, that Grok was in. And then there's a hole in the grass opposite of where you're coming to it that seems to just go into the high grass.
So like a line like traveling into the down to the middle of the circle.
Imagine a crop circle is what you're kind of standing in, effectively. There's a circle in the cut in the grass, clear cut, and then there's a path that's cut out of the grass that leads away. You can't see what that leads to. You can kind of move around, but the horses are very weary of the path, and they don't really give you much clarity as to what they're
How
looking
wide
at
is the
or
path?
about 5 feet.
I'll dismount and go investigate it.
Okay. Anybody stopping Shambles before the detect magic spells cast?
No.
Never.
Alright, you watch as Shambles moves into the small passageway into the high grass, and you all watch as his form becomes transparent and then invisible. He seems to just vanish from the area. Shambles, to you, you feel like you're passing through some kind of fog really quick for just a moment. Like there's like this weird rush of kind of mist against your face, and then you're passing through it into another circle. Inside of this clear-cut circle, you see what looks like a demon's body laying on the ground with a sword slammed into its chest like it's pinning it to the ground. The sword itself has chains connected to the pommel, which is a large ring, and the chains run down shackle into the ground at 4 points. Standing near that dead body of a demon is a very tall-looking elf with blonde hair, massive ears, fine green robes, and kind of a regal candor as he kind of steps around into view. Huh. You. Interesting. You who have passed and has not passed, who cannot pass. You who was born on a certain sign. Huh. What brings you to me? The horse was supposed to lead Bellerin, not you.
So would Grok be with Shambles at this point?
I don't remember you saying Grok was entering the pass. You
Okay.
said you nodded your head.
I was
when-
waiting. I was waiting for.
Chody. Yeah, Shambles went before Chody cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
You are
We were
not.
hoping for Valorant.
Yes, he was supposed to pass over. Awen was supposed to bring him here. His.
I'll, take off my hat. I got some bad news for you, fella.
I already know.
Oh,
Do you not?
I'm sorry.
Do you not know who I am? He reaches over for the hilt of the
Shambles.
He reaches over for the hilt of the sword and grabs a hold of it. The second he does, all the chains disappear, and he slowly like pulls it up out of the demon's body, and the demon's body starts to just dissolve in red light and ash. And he pulls the sword out, and it's this beautiful green blade, just great sword. He kind of holds it with no problems. The thing looks much too big to be holding it the way he's holding it, but he seems to hold it that way.
Was this guy Sephiroth with a greatsword?
I mean, the great sword's not thin and nimble. It's a lot. It looks more like a
Monster
weird,
Hunter.
elvish, Monster Hunter.
I just mean like the size, like it's absurdly.
Frostmourne kind of like elvish, weird, big blade, and he kind of looks to you. If Belern is dead, and Belern is not passing with his steed, I have no choice but to recall the horse. The Ranahan served Corsaeus, the Archfey.
The horse kind of rolls with a new master.
The horses.
We got this turtle friend. He knew Bellerin.
The horses have.
I feel like he would have been cool with this.
The horses have a master. As I said, Corsaeus, the Archfey. They are servants of the unicorn. They are servants of the Archfey. He takes the sword and he throws it like it just seems like like a fluid kind of nonchalant gesture, but the violence of the blade spinning towards you kind of like, oh shit, and then it slams into the ground like near you, standing straight on end, as if it was intended. At sight of the eerie blade, the horses shall be persuaded to enter into the light of the Fae to see their master, Lord Corsae. Take the sword. Guide the horse to me. Do this and I will reward you. If you do not do this, and you attempt to flee with the sword and my horse, well then, I don't care what stars keep you bound to this material plane, but I will make sure, undying soldier, that your soul is broken and bent and torn and stomped
Can I,
upon.
out of character, can I meet someone nice for once?
By,
No, right?
Just nice to me.
by hooves eternal. If you wish my boon, do as I ask. If you do not wish my boon, and you seek to betray, then, as I said,
Alright. Man, it's not my choice. I'm gonna go talk to the turtle. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
do you take the sword?
I'll take the sword.
The second you take a hold of it, the sword's blade starts glowing like bright green. It didn't glow bright green before. It's like a torchlight. And you can kind of feel like this weird connection with the sword. Like, the light that it's emanating isn't just light, it's like your soul light that's being emanated from it. Out comes this bright glowing green sword with a scarecrow attached.
I'll step back out. Grok, sidebar.
What the
I
heck?
gotta have a word with you.
That
I think
sword.
I think it's magic. I think there's magic here.
It's very
Good call.
it's very clearly to the Arcanist and to Grok and probably to Leon. This is fairy light that's coming from the sword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and?
I need you and your horse. I need you to follow me. There's some kind of magic elf who serves the unicorn.
The
He
horse
really needs to talk to you.
The horse seems
Okay.
very interested in the sword, by the way.
Okay, so I would lead you said AO?
Aelin, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, into the path towards following Shambles.
You note that Shambles seems to be the one more leading it, that seems to follow the sword's light. And you two
Sure.
pass beyond, as does the horse. And the three of them vanish to everyone else's sight. By this time, Detect Magic's probably been cast, and you realize that the circle is not magical. The path has a lingering trace of magic that appears to be planar magic, specifically conjuration. There seems to be a tear in the fabric of reality at this specific point.
I would honestly, if I saw that and saw him, I would probably follow him in just because of curiosity's sake.
Okay, well then you'd be seeing from behind a big horse's ass and a turtle on top of it and a scarecrow kind of tucked in behind them as you pass beyond the material into the Feywild. And you can hear a voice beyond say, "So many guests, but only one was asked for. I don't care too much about it. Rules and laws are made to be broken, I suppose. Well, undying soldier. You have brought forward that which I have requested. Return the sword to me. And he reaches out his hand. Do you mean to give it to him?
Yeah, I'll pass.
There's
back
just
over.
like-
I'm not gonna throw it like an asshole.
Well, no, there's like this weird moment in your existence where like the acknowledgement of I want to hand him the sword results in this weird flash of reality where you're handing him the sword and then still standing in the place that you're at. And you don't understand what the fuck happened. But he has the sword now, and you don't remember walking over, handing it to him, and then walking back, turning and facing him. But you're
Again, out of character. You're really making me. You're winning me over on the elves. How cool elves are, and how much I should like them.
yeah, that's so great, right?
Everyone we meet is a fucking elf. Yeah.
The Archfey then takes the sword and kind of gestures off, and the Renin moves into the grass and disappears into the Feywild. The sword's light kind of dissipates in his hand, but it seems to have lingered from you passing it over to him, and then he sets the sword back into the ground where it was. He looks to you. My boon. So, undying soldier, you are the one who has done this for me. You are the one who will be blessed by your star. And I suppose, if that will be the case, then you will serve greatly for the one that you have that shines above you. Good day. And seemingly does nothing for you.
Alright, man, I don't want anything. It was the turtle's horse. Give the turtle something. I'm gonna go. I don't like being here.
But I've already given you the gift.
That's
Rocket,
sweet of you.
Rock gets
Oh,
off the horse.
You have a great day.
No, you. I hate you! Anyways, he doesn't seem to give you anything, but he says he has given you something. And you leave?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Benson,
Benson, this place blows. Let's get out of here.
you two are leaving. Grok, do you...
Grok turns to Shambles and says, I had a horse for a minute.
So,
You can have mine. I'll just jog.
as you
Can't anymore.
pass through the tear, Benson, you enter into the material plane fine. Grok, you enter into the material plane fine. Shambles, the second you pass through, you feel your soul kind of disconnect from you for a second, and you're somewhere familiar, and you hear this voice, this crowd, Vester, 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 yelling off into the distance. You can feel sweat dripping on your brow. You look down at your hand for a second, and you can see it's flesh. In one hand you have a trident with a long shaft, in the other hand you have a sword. The sword looks like it's pretty battered to shit. Looks like it's been through quite a lot. So has your body, just by the feel of it. Standing before you, in competition with you, there appears to be a tiefling male who has a chain wrapped around his body, wrapped around his arms, and it looks like a bit of it's kind of just dangling and twisting in the wind as he's kind of moving around you. You feel like you have control of your body for a moment, and then you feel like you're not really where you're at. This is a memory you're reliving. As you move in to fight this individual, the familiarity of the combat, it's like you're doing something. It's like a deja vu. You're doing something you've already done before. The spiked chain moves off of the tiefling like a serpent uncoiling and moving to strike. The weighted, heavy end of it comes battering towards you. You manage to catch the end of it in the pitchfork, or trident, if you will, and twist it so that you wrap it around several of the prongs of the fork, pulling it towards you and moving the sword in to interlock inside of a spiked portion of the chain. As half of the weapon is now basically being commandeered by you, you kind of move yourself inwards towards him and slam your elbow into his face. You hear kind of a sickening pop as it connects in, and then you kind of bring your fist down, pommel and all, onto the top of his head. You hear a loud crack. You watch as his horn goes spinning off to the side, the marrow of it kind of like hitting the ground as well, and the tiefling just lays down onto the ground. The crowd roars, your name, or the name that you think is your own, being yelled heavily, and then you hear an announcer of sorts yell out, "The victory goes to Crusenger," and then it kind of mellows out, and you start to look around and see Grok and Benson, and then you hear Vester, and you kind of snap back into reality at that point.
Wow, it's the Shambles show. This is nice.
Anyway, I'm sorry about your horse.
He kind of pauses for a second, and everyone's like, "What's happening?" Some sort of flashback. I'm sorry about your horse.
I'll buy you a new one or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no
Bad
worries.
circle, man.
Okay. And then?
I put on my running shoes and give Grok my horse, and I
Okay.
head back down towards the shrine.
As you start to move Shambles in the material plane, you feel lighter, and you feel like you have a certain speed or increase in gait. Gain plus 10 to your base speed.
So what you're saying is
Plus 10.
is that
Plus 10 to Shambles, yeah.
What?
when he snapped back to reality, kind of oops, there went gravity.
Back to reality. Oops, there went gravity. Yeah, that's what I was going for. I wanted to copyright infringe. That was my whole plan.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny. It was funny. I was trying to make a joking counter to that. Ah. It was good. All right. So then what happens? The second roll. Duh. I'm so dumb today.
It's a 1 and a 14.
14. One was the archway, yeah. So you make it to the shrine after that pretty much without problem. You find that there are several dead bodies of hill giants. It looks like their throats have been slit out. There's one that looks like it has a rough hewn spear kind of jammed into the back of its neck. Looks like it was probably a sickening strike that broke vertebrae and probably killed the thing on contact. The shrine itself does appear to be in state of disrepair, but the walls are heavy stone, and most of them look like they are one solitary piece, like they were poured, not or they were found in one solid state and put up. But the more perceptive of you in the arcane manners would know that this is dwarf stone, and dwarf stone is very similar to concrete. The center portion of the temple, you can see it's cross-shaped, and the main section of it has a belfry, the bell of which still appears to be hanging, but the roof and top portion of the belfry seems to be broken off, so the only thing that remains is the part that hangs the bell above the church. Entering inside, there are no dead bodies of giants or anything, or no combat there, and it does look like there are remnants of individuals having spent some time kind of recovering. You can kind of tell that there was like a makeshift camp kind of set up within. Looking around, inspecting, it doesn't look like you can see anything regarding a magic circle that's prominent or displayed, but I mean, Redball did say it was present. There's a gatehouse to the walls. There are 4 towers which are pretty much broken out in disrepair. One of them looks like it might be serviceable and could still have use to it. And I believe, who has a higher passive perception than 15? 15 or higher?
Grok has 17.
Okay.
Grok is highest.
On your way here, you would have noticed that it looked like someone was up in that tower looking out at you, and then very quickly tried to hide.
Point that out. Sneaky son of a gun.
Feel like climbing a tower?
Yeah,
Sounds like
I'll just
not
walk,
for.
I'll walk up the outside and peer in the window stealthily.
Well, like they're on top of the tower, not inside of it. But you're just walking up the side of it and coming up to the top of it?
Stealthily, and yeah, I'm not going to get stabbed in the face. I'm being cautious.
Okay. Once you get up to a height that's pretty close to it, you hear the loud sounds of what sounds like someone kind of pushing stone, and it's very windy up here. So like Raya's cloak and his hood and everything is kind of like fluttering in the wind, and it sounds like someone on the top is doing some manual labor. Doesn't sound like they're talking, and it does only sound like there's one individual.
I would move sideways and then up in case he's shoving stones off the top.
No. Once you kind of get to a point where you can kind of look up, go ahead and make a stealth check.
15.
Doesn't seem to notice you. It seems that there's a singular orc who looks like he is kind of withering away a bit. Looks like he is definitely malnourished. Pushing stones, broken pieces of the battlements and crenellations onto a trapdoor to hold it closed.
I'm just gonna look down at the group and like kind of shrug, like, what do you guys want?
We don't want to shout back at you.
Yeah, we don't know what you're
So
seeing.
gesture. I'll sneak up on him and stab him in the head.
Yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll. Advantage on the attack roll.
Is he a bad guy? Or...
It's the default. You can't blame Raya. It's just what he does.
19 to hit with advantage.
That is damage.
18 total.
Yeah, you kill him in one shot. He doesn't even recognize that he's dead, based on the look on his face.
Okay, it's done.
It's humane.
You don't hear anything. The wind seems to buffer out Raya above, but he'll come down, I assume.
Now to shove the dead guy off.
Yeah. Whoa! It looks like there are a couple of packs up there. Looks like they're very similar in kind. They have markings on them. A small blackened kind of cut into the leather and the shape of a flame.
I'm gonna go through them. Is there anything worthwhile in them?
No. Looks like all the food's been eaten. Looks like some of the leather's been chewed on too. Looks like this individual has been up here for a while.
I just chuck them down then and uncover the trapdoor.
It leads down into the tower.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the door this time.
Okay, you come down the step or down the ladder and
Kind of dust my hands off.
the main foray.
Good job.
So, upon entering the shrine, there is the main chamber, and there are 3 doors: 2 small side doors and 1 large, massive door, which appears to lead into like an inner kind of cloister. The 2 side doors both have broken walls on the outside, so if you walk around the perimeter, you can kind of see into them. They look like they were formerly like residential places for the people who held the shrine, monks or whatever. There is no such cut into the inner cloister. The door is closed.
If he threw the body down, I'll look over it.
Yeah,
On the outside here.
he's an orc. He has a tattoo similar to the markings on the bags, and looks like he is pretty malnourished. Like he's been up here for a while, hiding.
I'll ask Grok and Leon if they recognize the markings. Otherwise, I'll just go through his pockets.
Grok and Leon wouldn't recognize it.
Beds.
Meanwhile, picking his teeth with a dagger, Connor's like, he's a dark flame. Probably got left behind on a raid.
Huh. Are they bad orcs? Out of character. Are there good orcs?
There are only good orcs. There's no such thing as
they're-
bad orcs.
They're as bad as the honor bound are bad, or they're just mercenary.
It's pretty fucking bad.
There you go.
Shrugs.
Do they have anything of value? Anything noteworthy on him?
No.
Okay. Back to Raya. Something about a locked door.
It is a door that is closed that appears to be locked. Yeah, that's true.
Is there like a
the roof
mechanism?
open?
Sorry, 2 people at the same time.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Is it an open top building or is it like sealed whole thing?
It is roofed. The only opening in the roof is the belfry that I mentioned, and that leads into the first chamber, not the inner cloister.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go inspect the door.
Okay. On inspection, it does appear that the door is sealed in some way. It doesn't appear to be a normal sealing. There appears to be a some sort of binding magic present here.
This one's on Benson. I walk up to the roof.
Now, there is a means of unlocking it, but it seems that the lock is effectively empowered by Arcana, is what I was trying to assume.
This one's on Benson, and I walk up to the roof.
Okay. Benson, got any strategies for opening a locked door?
Yep. I'm gonna cast knock.
Okay. You cast a spell knock, and everyone hears a very loud knock that can be heard audibly throughout the entire campus, and the door opens. Inside, you see that there are some pillars with kind of intricate carvings on them of Atavian kind of Civil War or pre-Civil War glory battles. There is a shrine. Set on the shrine is a golden bowl, and inside the golden bowl there are 3 items of import. A diamond, which is not too bad size, probably worth about 300 gold. There is a ruby, much bigger than the diamond, probably worth about 300 gold as well. And a small, locket is the word I want. Also in this room in the corner is a dead body, but it seems that it's been in here for a very long time, so it's skeletal at best. It appears to be wearing tabard Atavius, like a missionary or priest. On the ground is a very intricate looking circle, which Benson very quickly identifies as some sort of teleportation circle.
Can the locket be open?
Yeah, you pop open the locket, and inside is an almost exact duplicate of the circle on the ground. And at the top portion of it, on the opposite side of the marking, there appears to be a small dial.
That could be cool.
Yeah, looks like...
Benson, you want to look at that dial?
Yeah, I want to give it to Benson, pretty much. Looks like it probably changes the location of where the circle goes. That would be my assumption. But it's probably good for you to have it, because if you were going to be drawing any circles, you're probably going to be the one doing.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Okay, so there's an exact duplicate of the circle on the ground, and a small dial. Make an Arcana check.
19.
Circle's identical to the circle drawn on the back of the paper found on the dead mage at Bulwark.
Okay, so I'll relay this to everybody and say it very well could be what we can use to choose it. Maybe it's not something. Maybe it's something we can use without so much of the magic component of the spell.
And the other thing you would notice, the dial appears to have 3 settings, so it can be turned, click, turn, click, turn, click, back into its initial.
So there's 2 other ones other than the one.
The one that is current. There's 2 other settings for the dial that it can be turned into. I'm not agreeing with you or stating that it changes what the circles are.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But if that were the case, then yeah, I guess it would be 2 other different circles.
Right. 2 other different circles than the one that we saw at the previous fort.
Sure.
Okay. Does it seem like it's more of a setup thing where I guess you can't answer that, would be telling me too much. I'm going to set something in the circle and see what happens when it's pointed at the one that we saw previously.
So, real quick, the dial is not pointing to anything. It's just 3 settings that you can turn it to. And then on the opposite side of the dial in the locket, because it pops open, fold 2 sides like a clamshell, is the symbol that's on the ground. The dial doesn't point to anything. There are no indicators what the 3 clicks matter. There are just from what you can tell, there are 3 settings they can click to, is what I was saying.
Okay.
Throw something on the circle and flip the dial.
Well, that's what. Yeah. So
I'll drag
I'll
that
put-
dead orc in.
that I don't know if that would be the best thing. I'm just gonna find something in the room, just random candlestick or something, set it in there, and then turn it to the dial. Well, set it in there.
Okay. It seems that when you try to turn it, it only turns in one direction. There are no multiple directions. It only goes clockwise, not anti-clockwise. So when you turn it to the next setting, the teleportation circle in the center of the cloister ignites blue. If you're not standing in the circle, nothing changes. If you are standing outside of the circle, from what you can see, there's a blue light and kind of like a frosty flame that appears on the exterior rim of the ruined circle.
Okay.
Do you step into the circle?
And this is pointing at the one that we were at, right?
Okay, one more time.
I'm sorry, man. I'm not seeing it. I'm not.
There are 2. Think of 2 circles. There are 2 circles on the locket. It's a clamshell. It opens up. Okay. On one side there is the sigil on the ground, an exact duplicate, which matches
Right.
the one in the paper. Okay. That's one side, separate. On the opposite side of the clamshell, there are 3 clicks on a dial, not pointing to anything. They just go setting 1, setting 2, and setting default, whatever it started in. And it only goes clockwise. So when you turn it to setting 1, the circle on the ground is now lightly blue around the edges, slightly flaming, and that's it. And the thing inside that you had in there, the throne thing, nothing happens to it.
Do you need a guinea pig, Benson?
I would hate for someone to go by themselves, I guess. So I would go in as well. Well, no, I don't know if I want to do that with the.
Are there other settings you can click it to?
Yeah, I click it to the next setting just see what happens.
The light turns violently blue for a second, and everything inside of the circle disappears.
And there's one more setting after the second one.
Wait. Benson, how long do you wait?
4 seconds.
Okay. There's another pulse after about 4 to 6 seconds, and it goes violently blue and snaps everything back through again. It seems that it's a continually pulsing teleportation or connection to whatever's on the opposite side of the circle when it's set on setting 2.
You found the oscillate setting.
Okay, and then when I click to the next one,
No
does
light.
the circle keep glowing?
No
Shuts
light.
down.
Off.
So the first one is one way, maybe, or one time, perhaps.
First one is activated. The second one is back forth. Third one's off.
Well, you want to give it a try with me? See what happens.
I'll get in there.
Okay, so
Kick the candlestick out of the way.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
I'll draw a weapon.
Okay, so
No, I'm sorry. Stay out of the circle. I'm going to stand perfectly still as a scarecrow.
Okay.
I'm just going full shambles.
Okay. I
Propped
clicked
up on
the
my-
first click.
Okay, you turn to the first click. The second you do, Shambles, your vision outside of the circle changes. You no longer see what you were seeing before. Instead, you're on a windswept mountaintop, and you appear to be standing on the top of a fortification of some sort. In the corner far to your right, basically directly where you're looking at in Shambles' state, is a massive hunk of white scale flesh, a dragon that appears to be sleeping.
Shh.
I don't see anything. Anybody else?
It appears there's an exit to this place that leads down into the fortress you're standing on top of.
Okay. Is it open air around me?
Mm-hmm.
Can I see where the sun is? What direction I've moved? Do I have an idea?
You feel like
My
you're in,
assumption is I'm on the Icefang Mountain.
you feel like you're in the same time zone, if that's what you're going for.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to unshambles and step out of the circle, or do you want?
I'm waiting patiently for the flash.
Do we see him still, or is he gone?
He's still there, just like the thing that you left there before was.
Okay,
But
so
you know
I'm-
that if you change the setting, he will disappear.
But we have to go to the next one anyway, because otherwise
He does
it
not
only
need to
goes
be.
one way.
He does not need to be standing in it when you change it.
Right. So I will go ahead and click it.
Shambles disappears.
Wait 4 seconds for him to come back.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
The pulse sends out again. Shambles. We're gonna have a fun time.
So I think if you were to just, he could have just walked out.
Everyone else needs to hold off for a second.
Oh, it's with me in circles today.
Right.
Bear with me here. I tried really hard, you guys. I tried really hard. I feel like an abusive spouse.
Tried really hard to what?
Not have you do this the wrong way. All right, Shambles, do you see?
Nothing.
Hold on.
You need that good AC now, Shambles.
Okay.
You should be off to the right. Do you see you?
Oh boy, what is that?
Zach? Do you see it now? I can't hear you.
Hello?
There you are. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. The second the pulse happens, a flash of light kind of enters the area, and slowly the dragon in the corner starts to get up. Roll initiative.
So
We'll handle you outside of this in a moment. Like I said, if you are not Shambles, I am ignoring you for
shut
a
up.
moment. Alright.
Just beat me.
The dragon will rise from prone, taking half of its movement to do so. Step to there. Let me get this circle on the right layer. There we go. Okay. Move to there pretty quickly. Look down at you, confused. Still in shambles state. Kind of angry for a moment. And then just starts ripping you apart like you were a toy. I'm going to go ahead and make these 3 attacks. I'm assuming you're going to defend yourself, not hold yourself in shambles posture. Or are you going to play dead?
Play dead. Absolutely.
Okay. These attacks are made with advantage. Let me make sure it's not rolling to... Alright. So, Claw, Bite. 17, 18, and 27. Which is a
All
crit.
hit. Just make it.
14 slashing, so 11. 10 slashing, so 7. And then 22 piercing, so 19. And then 7 cold on top of that. You still alive?
Kidding me?
It very quickly becomes disinterested with you and like throws you to the ground, kind of like grabs you, like ragdolls you for a second as you're playing dead, and tosses you back into the side there. And after it's done so, it kind of just like annoyedly kind of moves away from you. Do you want to take an opportunity attack?
Absolutely not. I'm laying there.
All right.
Good call.
Moves back over to its corner and lays back down. It does not appear to be laying on a treasure hoard of any kind. Okay. So your initiative will pass because you're playing dead. Go ahead and make a deception check. This will be with advantage.
You don't breathe.
18.
You seem to be fooling it. All right, back on the other side. Click to 2. Shambles disappears. Shit happens outside of the world. It's your turn, Benson. What would you like to do? Again, you do not know what just happened on the other side, so don't play like that's
Okay, well, no, like I was saying, when he didn't come back on the 4 seconds like the candlestick thing was, my first thought is to turn it to the next one.
Turning it off.
Okay, and then honestly, I would step in after him. Honestly, he's my dude. So I would turn it back on, step in, like basically say who's coming with me, and step in and wait a second to see if anyone else follows.
If Benson is going in by himself, Grok would go with him.
Okay. So, as you're planning and gathering the troops, I'm going to presume people are acting within 6 seconds. Did anybody go outside?
I've just been observing this whole time. I'm not gonna go through, and I'll let them know. Just tell them tell us what's on the other side, and then I'll like hang back to make sure we're not getting, like nothing happens here.
Just so you know, he didn't come back. So.
But it hasn't only been like how much time has passed? Like 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But last time 4 seconds passed and the thing came back right away.
Nothing came back ever once. I never said that.
Okay, that's what. Sorry, I misunderstood what happened then.
Nothing has ever come back. Not once.
I thought you said it.
Yeah, you missed a cue because you said it was there because Shambles said he kicked it out of the circle.
No.
When he got in there.
Sorry, I apologize. Okay, so real quick, let me go through it again so no one is confused. Period. End of sentence. Level 1 allows you to see as if you were in the space at Icefang. Level 2 causes a portal cycle from the shrine to Icefang. And level 3 shuts it all off. Period.
So we don't know the length of the cycle, the duration.
It's not a two-way trip. It is literally from one to the other. It's point A to point B. It is a one-way trip plane-wise.
I get it. That's what, when you said, how long do you wait? I said 4 seconds. I thought you said it came back.
I missed Shambles kicking the thing out of the ring. That's my fault. I'm glad I didn't let it get too far.
You said everything snapped back into place. That's why I said I kicked the candlestick out of the way.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What I meant by that is everything color-wise, like the lighting, back into normal.
If it was gone forever, no.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that would have been different, I think.
Okay.
Because the reason why I said I waited
sorry.
4 seconds is because of that.
That's
why.
I missed the candlestick kick. I should have caught that. That's my fault. I apologize. But yeah, so one more time. It's the first switch allows you to see as if you were standing on Icefang if you're in the ring. The second thing makes a teleportation cycle from Shrine to Icefang. And number 3 turns it off. The default position. No portal.
Okay,
Can we retcon what Chris said so that he tells us all that?
Man, you guys leave me here. It's fine. I'll find my way out.
So if I turned it on then, and I just stuck my head in there, could I still walk out, or are you trapped in there once you get able to see what's there?
If any part of you is in the circle when the teleportation keys, it takes you.
No, I'm talking about one.
Oh, if you step one and put your head in, you're looking as if you were in Icefang. Yeah. Is that what you're doing?
But you can step back out. Yes, I'm going to do that then.
Yeah, that's why I kept on trying to get Shambles out of there before you guys went. That's where the confusion lied. So if you turn it to 1 and you step in, you see Shambles torn up quite a bit, not terribly, but laying on the ground, and a dragon kind of curiously looking over in his direction, almost as if he was looking right at you, really. But it looks like he's just intently looking at Shambles, annoyed.
Okay, I step back and I say the dragon that we were talking about is there. Shambles is hurt. He's down. Apparently,
I say I do. Rest in peace, Sham. He'll probably come back eventually.
Really?
So
This is the best split the party I've ever heard of. I love this.
Shambles, on your end, it does look like the dragon is readying. It doesn't look like it's basically like a cat who like knows someone's fucking with it, like it's ready to pounce and fight, but it's not pouncing and fighting.
Like I'm not an expert, but I'll tell you right now, if we go through there to get him, we are all gonna get frozen solid by a white dragon's, and that's just deduction because we live in a world of dragons.
The dragon and I do not see Benson or Grok poking their head in.
Correct.
Okay.
trying to find something here.
Hang on, let me think here.
I got 10 minutes.
Like, if we want to, if he's a scarecrow, the dragon, according to you, he's like done with him. He just thinks he's probably like a dummy. We could potentially just wait for the dragon to get like bored of the situation, maybe fly off or fall asleep or something, and then go retrieve him. Shambles is pretty self-sustaining. He can literally just lie there for as long as he wants.
I don't think I'm gonna get to lie here for as long as I want. I think it's about to rip me to pieces.
Basically, magic is happening. It isn't a stupid idiot, and it
The
definitely
dragon,
looks
those
like it's
people are using the circle. He's waiting for a party to come through so he can murder the whole thing.
correct.
So that's why we're not gonna do that.
Is there a way for you to message
Candlestick
Shambles,
still here
Benson?
then?
Not even close. And the candlestick is there. Yes, sorry. The candlestick is here. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm just gonna lay there. I'm just gonna lay there.
Bad description.
Their choice is their own. I accept fate.
How much stuff is in the room?
Keep dicking over Wilbur's. Like itemery?
Yeah,
There was just a couple of candlesticks, so one's gone.
so it's an empty room.
Oh,
other than
and the
candlestick.
treasure inside the gold plate that I mentioned.
So I mean, no furniture, no nothing.
No. Oh, there's a dead body too. Yeah, sorry.
So you
Did
did
you say there was treasure?
Just one dead body.
Like the
Yeah, there was
ruby and the diamond?
and the ruby.
Yeah, the ruby, the diamond, and the necklace that is now currently in Benson's care. Nobody took the diamond or the ruby or the gold plate.
Ooh, do you guys want to try to placate the dragon? Throw the gold and stuff in there to make it maybe think like its servants are trying to.
Benson, you would have noted in the looking that the dragon doesn't appear to be sitting on a treasure hoard.
I would tell the group that they can look in and see what's going on, so they can actually see what's happening.
Yeah, if you want to
and see what we look.
step into the circle while it's glowing light blue in setting 1, you can see the opposite side for sure. I'll go ahead.
Everybody should get in and look at it.
Do we project an illusion when we do this, or is it just?
You don't know, but it doesn't seem like the dragon's
Um,
taking any notice of you if you are.
Chris, could Benson communicate with Shambles at all? Like, do you have any kind of messaging kind of spell?
I have Skywrite.
Okay, that's not going to help. Yeah.
Sorry. I can see the word sorry appear like 14 miles south of me.
And
A bit farther
John,
than 14, but yeah.
we've seen Shambles die in the past and then come back to us, right?
Um,
I'm not gonna say anything. My intention is to lay here.
yes.
I have no input for you guys. Do as you will.
I was gonna say, because like he said, we have seen him come back.
Grok would say to Benson, if we go through, we might die, but I'm not going to let you go through by yourself. Despite what the others say.
All right. If you're sitting there for about a minute or more, I think that's the case, right? The dragon starts walking cat-like towards the magic circle. It appears to be very wary. It reaches into the circle and grabs a hold of Benson's body and starts pulling you in towards its grasp. Still playing dead, right?
You said
You said Benson. You
You
meant
said
Shambles.
Benson.
Oh my god, I was looking directly at Zach and I said Benson. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like, wait,
Making
he's-
sure he didn't
what?
reach through the
I was
portal.
like, whoa!
Bad description a second time. Strikes again. I'm doing terrible tonight. I'm sorry.
Cody going down.
Grab-
What's happening?
Grab
Walk
shit.
me through the teleporter.
It's straight up like 80s monster movie, dude. No, it grabs
Take on me by Aha.
take on you, dude. Grabbed Shambles. Grabs Shambles. Grabs Shambles. Are you still playing dead as if
Yep, totally. Falling
Okay.
between fingers.
it takes you away from the circle for a second and it's holding you like it's pretty big. It's like at its shoulder height is about 15 feet. It's got a wingspan from what you can tell 30 or so feet. It's a pretty massive dragon. And it's kind of toying with you with its forward claws, kind of holding you and moving you around, inspecting you like a collector's doll. And if you aren't resisting it, and you are definitely trying to hide yourself as that, it just starts inspecting you. Its eyes kind of glow blue during the process, like a frosty kind of Game of Thronesian blue. Benson and the others, you are at the circle. He appears to be distracted, but every so often will kind of look over towards the circle, and then kind of look back at the thing. Anybody do anything?
I don't.
Maybe he'll cuddle him and fall asleep or something, and then we can get him when he.
Okay. So he takes the scarecrow after inspecting it, doesn't seem terribly interested, just throws it over his shoulder. You fall 600 feet down to the next landing point. If you'd like, you can go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw to try and grab at an earlier point than that. But the DC is going to be... Oh, yes! Slow fall. Very good.
Oh,
Nice.
heavens.
Monk.
You use your reaction. So, yeah, you're going to fall 600 feet then, because there's not much to grab onto besides. I mean, it's going to be a very high DC, to be completely honest. But you'll descend down Ice Fang quite a bit.
Stupid dragon.
And I think, because I was hoping to
He
kill
still wants to make that dex save unless he wants to die here, because the wording there says he only reduces the damage by 5 times his monk level.
Oh, yeah, he's going to die.
600 feet is going to be a lot of damage.
Well, it caps out...
Velocity.
It caps
Paper light.
out at 50 feet, I think, or 100 feet. Because there's a terminal velocity he'll reach. But that
It's
said...
still going to be fatal.
Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw. Again, the DC is going to be pretty high.
Okay. Deck saving throw. Fuck.
I'm not going to do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and deal with the damage. 5 times your monk level would be, what, 25? And then 50, 100 feet, so 10d10. 63 points of falling damage. Minus 3.
63 points.
Yeah, minus 3 for bludgeoning, then minus 25 for slow falling. Does that kill you?
Yeah, just barely. Just barely, John.
Okay. So, quick note, and this might piss you off quite a bit, and definitely fun for the game. Everything that's been on your person for over 24 hours goes with you. But everything that's been on you for the last 24 hours remains. So just anything that you've recently picked up is at the bottom of the stuff. But you do wake up in Mutus behind the barn. There appear to be 3 remaining scarecrows.
Wait, can I make a death saving throw?
Oh, do you want to try and fight death? Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I'll exist in a
He's
chasm.
stubborn.
Well, yeah, because your HP is higher than... Yeah, you got like a 70 HP right now. Cause,
I went 7 under 0.
Yep, go ahead and give me 3
Wait,
death saving
do it.
throws.
Wait,
12.
how much?
Success. Failure.
Fail.
Crit.
1 point.
Okay.
Yeah!
So we're really just drawing out the inevitable. The temperature out here is
Yeah,
pretty
now you get to
insane.
freeze to
But I'm
death.
a scarecrow.
Yeah, you don't resist. It doesn't say anything about resisting frigidness. Like there's no resistance to temperature because of your race. There's no spatial difference. You will freeze solid. So go ahead and make me. Are we trying to descend the mountain? Or are we trying to, with your 1 hit point? Or are we trying to? What are we trying to do? Find somewhere shelter? What's the goal here?
Yeah, 'cause if you hold
I'll
out
break
long
camp. I'll
enough,
make
come
shelter
back,
in a cave
all
or
your
something.
stuff-
I'm sorry, there's two people talking. Go ahead.
Shody?
If you said that after a certain amount of time he loses stuff, so if he can hold out until that stuff's been on long enough and then he dies, wouldn't he get all of his stuff?
I don't think he has anything new anyways.
He wouldn't lose the boon.
We
or anything
rested,
like
we
that?
rested at the
Fort.
camp.
Yeah, the boon wasn't a physical thing.
Okay, sorry.
I don't think I lose anything, but still, it's funny to drag it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll look for like a.
Give me three survival checks.
Light yourself on fire.
15.
That's a failure. That's a
10.
failure. That's a
8.
failure. So, out of character note for you guys inside. Immediately after you witness him thrown over the ledge by the dragon, what do you do?
Step back out of the circle.
Fuck that. Okay. Fair.
So how long is the trip to Mutus from here? Because I think we gotta
Fucking,
kill a couple days.
30 days.
On horse, where you guys are at, it's only going to take you a day or 2 days.
No, for us, because I'm assuming he's just gonna sprint back here because he moves like the wind now.
Let me go
I
ahead.
am almost as fast as a horse now.
Yeah, he's
Back.
real fast. We got some time to kill.
It is going to take a horse. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A day. 5 squares in a day, so a little over a day.
Yeah, we can kill it. You guys just want to kill a day, and I'm sure a scarecrow will come running over that horizon. Mark my.
There are 3 remaining scarecrows behind the barn, by the way. And
Maybe we could.
this time you seem to have a little bit more prescience of how this works. There are 3 remaining scarecrows behind the barn that seem to have some kind of connection or tether to you that you've maliciously kind of forced yourself into in this way. So you don't think you can replicate what's present here. This isn't something that you can create an army of scarecrows and live forever. It appears that
Man.
the ones shuffled behind the barn are the ones that you are.
I never insisted that was the case.
I just want to make sure
That's
that
just what I would do if I woke up as another scarecrow.
I get you.
Holy shit! I need some more of these.
I get you. I just want to make sure that you currently now understand how the magic works.
Right.
Because you've gone through it twice. You've walked this path twice. So, that said, pretty decent stopping point. You do have a day's worth of time to kill if you're just waiting for a scarecrow to arrive. So we can discuss that in the side chat. And then, Shambles, are you rushing back to the shrine on foot by yourself?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Well, go ahead and roll me 5d20. Well, actually, 1, 2, 4 d20, because that's the narrowest number you can roll. And we'll discuss that again next time. Thanks for watching. We'll go ahead and kill the stream. Alright, that last one's going to be pretty bad. Alright, thanks for watching.